entertainment. MWN Media is reshaping the way we experience media. Stay tuned for political affairs, entertainment, and other news. Stay tuned.
Yes, I. Greetings, family.
Mozart, whose media is at the forefront of storytelling with the focus of pushing boundaries and delivering unparalleled entertainment. MWN Media is reshaping. Viewers, once again, my name is Martin Pettigol, and then we are streaming live from Pennsylvania this very hour. Today, we're going to be tackling the Democratic Party. In our first episode, we spoke highly of the Congress, both the Republican in Congress and then the Democratic also in Congress. But today we are going to touch on the Republican Party. What's the genealogy of the Republican Party? What is the ideology of the Republican Party? How come that now we have a lot of folks, black folks in the Democratic Party instead of the Republican Party, etc., etc. But I want you to stay tuned with us. Today we have our special guest, Sister Bigley. She is a politician. She's read much about American politics, and today she's our special guest. And Sister Bigley, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I do. I hear you loud and clear.
Wow. Sister Bigley is joining us on phone for now, joining us on phone. And I want to say, Sister Bigley, we love you. And then let's begin the show. It's going to be a 45 minutes show. I'm going to be asking you questions about the Republican Party. And Sister, why don't you just introduce yourself to our viewers all over the world? Yes, just something small. Yes.
Well, my dear brother Martin, it's an honor to be here back again.
Thank you.
I know we've gone back and forth because of our time schedule,
Yes.
but today we finally got some. Well, I'm just who I am. I'm just a regular person, nothing much.
Right.
Just a little delve into politics, which is interesting,
Right.
Sometimes things intrigue your mind and you want to follow up and find out and do your own research.
Yes.
So this is where we are, that I'm more into politics. Not that I'm active, though. I'll say I'm active because I read a lot about what's the country, America, in which you all live now, where they are and what their political affiliations and stuff.
All right. So let's begin. Sister Bigley, tell me, what is the genesis of the Republican Party?
Well, the genesis of the Republican Party, if most of you know or have heard, we always say is the party of Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln has been the father of the Republican Party. And he being the father of the Republican Party, he was also the president that abolished slave trade. Okay. Before that, slave trade has been something 200 plus years. And when he became president, he made sure the slave trade was abolished. So at that time, a lot of blacks, I'll say, were more into the Republican Party because their ideology was God, family, God, and country. Okay. Family, every man, it's marriage between a man and a woman. God, he is who we, our being, irrespective of what kind of God you serve or believe in, but God is what was the cornerstone of the country, and of course, country.
Okay.
So you are patriotic to your country, which is America.
Right.
So that is also part of the ideology of the Republican Party. Family, God, and country. It's simple. Yes.
Which is a very good thing. God, family, and which one is the third one? And country.
The third one is a country. Yes. So you be patriotic about the country, proud of the country. You know that the country is what it represents for you.
Mm-hmm.
And like Reagan put it in a nutshell, America is a shining star. Or all over the world, everyone looks at America as the beacon of hope.
Right.
That is why a lot of people are in this country coming. There are a lot of people over the world queuing, trying to get visas to make it to America, because it's a place of your dream, right, that you can always aspire and be whoever you want to be.
Right. There's a lot of sayings going out there. But before, let me ask you, do you have a TV in your background? Because I can hear some feedback come like a TV or something on in your background.
No, the TV is off. Nothing is on. Right. Yes.
But there is a saying all over the place that the Republican Party is a racist party. The Republican Party is the founders of KKK, etc., etc. What can you tell us about that?
Well, if you really want to go into it, one thing I'll say is that the Republican Party has always been a laid back. The people have always been laid back. The Republican Party has never been a racist, but it's because the Democrats has always harped on it, and the Republicans never fought back in that regard. Okay. So it means they were throwing it at them, and then it stuck, which they cannot shed off. Yes, because one, the Republican Party, if they're talking, is the Democrat Party, which is a party of racism. Because those times, the KKK and the Jim Crow era in the South, it was the Democrats who were the owners of slaves. Even if you go back, Jefferson, the Democrats Party, the president at that time, Jefferson and a few others, were owners of slaves. So, but the Democrats have the mouth, they know how to twist and turn things and make it stick. So if you don't fight back, then they have their way. Right. And then that is how come they always label the Republicans as being racist. Right. But the Republicans never, because if they were, Abraham Lincoln wouldn't have freed the slaves.
Right. But there was this.
And
okay, please proceed. Please proceed.
Yes. Yes. And even there were a lot of votes in Congress at that time that the Democrats even refused to sign the Civil Act that they should have representative of voting, the blacks to vote. No, they didn't. And there were other things that they refused. Right. They didn't pass those legislation in Congress. They voted against those things that would have helped the blacks, right, but they didn't. But then they knew how to fight back. They knew how to twist it around. And it is what it is, and it's stuck. And even if I may add, Martin Luther King was a Republican.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
King was a Republican.
Freddie Douglass. Yes, he was a Republican.
Freddie Douglass. Our own Freddie Douglass was a Republican.
Our own Martin. Yes, our own Dr. Douglass. Freddie Douglass was a Republican.
What about
he was a black man. He was Malcolm X too was a Republican. So there were a lot of blacks then who were Republicans because they believe in the value of family. Marriage is between a man and woman. Family, the man works and the woman takes care of the home. The country, right. Be patriotic, love your country, do what is right for your country and God. So even if you look at it, the blacks those times were church-going people. Go back and look at even the old black and white photos. They work Saturday up to Saturday. Sundays is check time.
Right.
They sing, they go to church, sing in the choir. A whole family, they put on their best clothes, dress nicely, and go to church and serve God.
So that was where the ideology. That was where the ideology was curved. Family,
yes,
God, and country.
God and country.
So,
that's it.
So why is it that today, rather, we don't find a lot of black folks in the Republican Party? For the Democratic Party, I think as part 3, we'll be talking extensively about the Democratic Party. But I just want us to zero more on the Republican Party. Why is it that it's like we don't have more blacks in the Republican Party?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
What is it?
Because they have been brainwashed, because it was a propaganda that, hey, the Republicans don't love you, the Republicans are racist, they don't like blacks. But unfortunately, those people didn't do their own research. They didn't read, they just followed with what they heard or have been propagandas onto their thinking. So along the way, and what happened is that is part of what the Democrat played. When JFK was assassinated, his vice president, who was LBJ, as we call him, Johnson, who was his vice president, made a law. The reason why we have the welfare system, that, okay, that is what they brought the wedge between the blacks and the Republican Party. Okay, we are going to give you freebies. If you're a woman, you have a child, you don't have a man, come, we'll feed you, we'll clothe you. Okay. So that, don't worry, even if the man, you have a father of the child, don't worry, the government will take care of you.
Is that the one we call welfare?
So it broke.
Is that the one we call welfare? Okay.
That is where the welfare, that was in the 60s. So that was the beginning of the welfare system. So now the men realize that, oh, okay, the government is going to take me. So let me put this name. That is when the name baby daddy came into the system. Because I can have a child as a man. He is home. He's not working. The government will give me, the woman, all the SNAP, all the welfare system, what I have to get and take. So now the men also sat home because the government was taking care of their family.
But that was going to break the home,
and that was the beginning of the breaking down of the nuclear family, the breaking down of our family values, the breaking down of the system. And now the men refuse to work. So even if they do work or find something to do, they would rather work under the table and not contribute to society through tax.
So the wife can always go in and get something from welfare.
Yes. So a woman, So a woman can go and have 5 children. The government wouldn't mind. I'll give you the welfare to take care of the 5 children. But then there'll be no father in the home who will discipline the child or nurture the child. Right. So that child will grow up and become someone useful for the society.
But from research, it looks like the welfare was designed rather for the white people. How come the blacks came to hijack it?
Initially, it was supposed to be for the white people.
Why?
But then because the government wanted the black, because initially blacks were Republicans. Okay. Blacks were Republicans. They were voting Republican because of the Republican values. Okay. God, family, God, and country. They were not into this liberal, women should sleep with women, or men should sleep with men. There were a lot of things, drugs and those kind of things. No, because they are more Bible. So if you realize, they were calling those people the Bible Belts at those times. The Midwest and the South, they were the Bible Belt people. They feared God. They did things of God. They live a moral life. Do not. So their life was very moral, according to the teachings of the Bible or what they believe in. But then, as time went along, the Democrats brought that wedge of welfare into the Black community.
Okay.
So some of them chose to go with the Democrat side and get the freebies, the welfare system. And the Democrats also made sure they harped on it, that the blacks, the whites don't like you, or they are racist, they are that and that and this and that and that, and they bought in, and then and the Republicans never fought back or stood their ground and explained to the blacks that no, you guys are going the wrong way. This is not what will be right for you. The kind of, since they were more of the Christian value, they were respectful and not, fighting, standing well for what they believed in. And the Democrats had advantage over it, and that was a decline.
I know that Democrats, their ideology is liberalism. Yes. But today, even in Americans' politics, the Republicans cannot even fight back. Till today, they can't even fight back. What is the cause of that? Why is it that they can't even fight back? I remembered as Donald Trump and our ex-president Donald Trump kept on saying that my people must fight back, but they cannot. Why can't they fight back?
Oh, fighting back, there is a lot. There's a lot why they can't fight back.
And not only that, they are always not united as compared to the Democrats, who can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Yes. Why it is so is that now we have realized the Republicans and the Democrats are the same. It's just musical chairs. That's why they are called the Uniparty. And more so, some of those who go into the DC or Congress trying to do the right thing, they end up being blackmailed. And the bottom line is they are being blackmailed by the deep state as we know them as they are now, or the bureaucracy. And these are people who have been in the bureaucracy 30, 40 years. So it's tough to go and challenge them and fight them. So when the congressmen or the newly elected, so they go and join them instead of fighting against them. So they end up playing along, go along. But with the Democrats, no matter what, I remember Donald Trump always says so, they always stick together like a glue. No matter how bad their policy, and they have the louder voice, and they have the media that is not challenging them and in support of them. So the Democrats always win, no matter what. The Republicans don't. Instead of them uniting and standing toe to toe with the Democrats, then they quarrel back like a dog with a tail behind his back. So they are not confrontational. That's the word I'll use. They are not confrontational. It's just a few of them lately.
Is it because they don't have the media at their back?
One, because they don't have the media. Yes. One, because they don't have the media. And one also, most of them also has been in Congress 20, 30 years of their life, and they become part of the deep state, 30, 40 years. So is it a few of the younger generation who are coming up now, who are beginning to stand toe to toe and make noise and fight their way through. And thank God for the social media. As long as it has its good and the bad side, at least there are a lot of conservative social media now. I'll say your podcast is one of them, kind of being out there, taking your word around, your message around, and other what is it called, media, the big and the small, who are more into the conservative thinking. So, with time.
Right. Okay. Sister, that is Sister Bigley, our sister, our researcher. She's always helped us to explain politics in the United States. Last week we were talking about American Congress. We talked about our new elected speaker, the previous speaker. Let me touch on bigly. Let's just touch on the outgoing speaker. He's already gone. We overheard him making a big announcement that he's leaving Congress at the end of the year. And I
Yes.
thought his announcement came at the wrong time because just yesterday, ex-President Trump had a one-on-one with Hennessy on Fox, I think in Atlanta or something, and a lot of things came out.
Yes.
And then
Iowa.
all of a sudden, our brother McCarthy also decided to give his announcement, and it looks like that announcement has shadowed the interview that went on yesterday. What do you say about that as a political analyst?
Oh yes, this is how these people play the game. This is how they play the game. So it tells you the kind of person he is. That for him, he only came for himself. It's not to fight for the Republican Party or stand with the party or work for the country. It's my way or the highway. Because even before he got his speakership, they've made it like it's a hurricane. It's my turn. I deserve it. I'm not here to serve the public. Okay, eventually he got his speakership, but then he had signed some paperwork that if I don't do A, B, C, and D, I could be voted out. And people took him for his word, Mark Gates, and he made sure he was out. Since he didn't win and they were trying to get others to be, he was undermining that. He was behind. He has his people too, because when you are the Speaker of the House, you hold the purse of the Republican, Republican campaign funds. Because they do fundraising, travel around the country and do fundraising. So they have millions and millions of dollars at their disposal. So they decide and choose and give who deserves 1 million for his. So he has some of the congressmen under his thumb. Because we are going to go in a campaign season and some of them need some funds to run their campaign. So with that, he still had those people so that when he didn't win and when he was booted out and they were trying to get new, he was part of the who were undermining Jim Jordan, the few that they had put them out there so that they could win. He undermined until we got Johnson, who is now. But now that he said he needs to be there and help Johnson or help the party to a new term. But now, you know what they are doing? They want the Democrats to become the majority. Because already the Republican Party is sitting on a very slim majority. Very narrow majority.
Already understand. Santos, he's been asked to walk out of Congress because of some illegal charges and things. It hasn't been proven yet. And that means there's going to be fresh elections in his constituency, right? Do you have anything in mind who is going to stand on a Republican ticket in that?
For the Santos, Santos. No, not at this time. Okay. But my only hope, and I'm only praying and keeping my fingers crossed, that area, it's more a conservative seat.
It's a Democratic.
Okay. Yeah. It's part of it's on the border of Queens and Long Island. So it's somewhere they call it Long Island City. Yeah. So it's on the border of that place, which is more conservative. Right. But then are the Republicans they're going to be so mad that they wouldn't want another Republican for that seat and let the Democrats have it? Or the Republicans are going to stand strong and say, no, we are going to get one of our own back in Congress. So it's a wait and see at the moment. But I think the state law, the governor can appoint someone. I don't think they're going to have a special election. I'm not 100% sure. Right. So it's most likely the governor, Kathy Hochul, may appoint someone to hold the seat till next year when the 2024 general election kicks in. Okay. So I'll wait and see. Probably the next time we get to this, I may read more and know more about that. Yes. So back to McCarthy.
Yes, McCarthy.
And because he didn't have that speakership, he decided to resign at the end of the year. Okay. Why would you do that? Why don't you wait till next year?
Right. That will give the Democrats the upper hand in Congress.
That will give the Republicans an upper hand in Congress.
Yeah,
but now that he's resigned,
yes.
Now that he's resigned, he's giving the Democrats an upper hand. Right. So this tells you they are setting the stage for 2024 if Donald Trump wins the presidency. Why am I saying so? Because I went back to check when Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House at that time. When Trump won, he was supposed to be working with Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, and the majority leader in Senate. But parts of their ploy, because they didn't expect Trump to win, so part of the deep state plan, and Paul Ryan made sure a lot of Republicans did what? They stepped off, they resigned, and stepped about close to 40 Republicans resigned because they had a super majority.
Right.
So by the time the 30 plus people resigned, not for any reason, from their seat in Congress, Republicans had already lost the majority. That is how come the Democrats won the election in 2018.
Okay.
So that puts Trump also in a very tight place. Now he didn't have the Republicans to work with.
Right. So
he only had one house.
Do you foresee a playback of that?
This is exactly because already yesterday, he's from Oklahoma. He's called McHenry.
Right.
Yesterday, he also put in his resignation letter that he's also resigning. Yesterday, McHenry. And then today, McCarthy.
Yes.
And 3 weeks ago, another one, Lofgren, she's from Texas,
right.
Arizona. She's a lady, a woman from Arizona. She also had resigned early November there, about I've forgotten something. So at least within this at least 5 Republicans have done what? They have resigned or about resigning or not running for next Congress.
Was it old age or what? What was the reason?
At least 2. None of them, they are still in their prime. They are not old age or anything. There's none of them that I've heard that maybe it was only one said for family reasons. Yes, one of them, I think that the wife is not doing well. So he wants to spend more time with the family, the wife, yes. But the rest of them, there's no reason that I know of which is a pressing medical issue. No, not that I'm privy to their private lives, but there's nothing that would tell me. It's part of the plan of making the Republicans a minority for 2024. Unless things change, that the Trump wins big, and he has those on the ballot down below who might win, and then he may have an upper hand.
Okay. Viewers, we are listening to Political Affairs. It's all about the United States politics, and we are honored to have our political analyst, Bigley. She comes to expose certain things to us. Bigley, what can you tell us about this impeachment inquiry?
Regarding the Biden?
Exactly. I mean, right now, what is the speaker? What is his next step? Is it that impeachment? Is it requirement or inquirement or whatever they call it? Yes.
Yes. Regarding the impeachment inquirement, it's up to the speaker to bring it on the floor.
You think he's going to bring it?
And so far, we are all waiting. So I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay.
But then what I know so far, for almost 2 years now, when the Republican won the majority, they have been working on this fervently. doing their own investigations.
Okay.
So they are dotting the I and crossing the T, and make sure they have everything together well, that they may not be shocked or surprised by something. Right. So they have been doing a lot of investigation. Okay. Right. I don't know. I'm not privy to anything, but this is the tea leaves that I'm reading.
Right. But
so
again,
as long as...
But again, no matter what they find, they have a minority in the Senate. So therefore, it's not going to fly. John Fleming,
the Senate is not going to fly.
It's not going to fly in the Senate. So with all this impeachment inquiry, it's not going to go anywhere. What do you think? What do you say about it?
Exactly. That is why with the House, at least it can get through the House. Right. If some of the Republicans don't bail out or have cold feet at the last moment. Yeah. But then at least it gives the country an opening of knowing what they didn't know before. Okay. Because you remember during the 2020 presidential election,
the debate.
Biden vehemently denied. I don't know anything about. The laptop is Russia. Mm-hmm. He said, I have no business dealing with my son. And now all these things are coming. Bank record, transactions, WhatsApp messages that the son was telling the Chinese partner that hey, I have my father sitting right here with me. If you don't wire X amount of money to us, we are going to play hardball of you. Yeah. Don't fuck with us. Those are his own words.
Yeah. But the White House
text message.
Yes, but the White House is saying that the president did not say that he didn't talk with his son, but just that he didn't get into his son's business. That's what the White House is saying. The spokesperson for
that's what the White House. Yes. That's what the White House is saying. But then bank records, 10 million that was wired to him, and the son was sending the money to the father. So there are bank record transactions. That is what I'm saying. That is why the Republicans have been very meticulous. And the chairman of the committee that is investigating into this committee, he's a banker himself. So he has a financial background. That's his background as a banker. Okay. So when you're a banker, you know all those things. And he has subpoenaed the banks, and they've given him their bank records. Right. And some of them he posted a few on Twitter and stuff. Right. So you read it. Right. The money is wired from Joe Biden, from his son to Joe Biden, or from his son to Joe Biden's brother, the other brother. So even to his grandchildren. So there was a lot of bank records that you cannot deny. If I send you some money and I'm subpoenaed by the bank, those see the transactions that happen between you and I. Right. So you cannot deny it. Yeah. So those things are there. It's in black and white.
Politics. Politics.
Yeah.
Politics.
So the Republicans, I'm just praying that by the time they have all those together now, most of it, but I'm just praying that they'll have the fortitude and stand together and put these things on the floor. But it's the speaker who have to sanction it before it comes on the floor. So if Johnson, the speaker that we have now, has he got that backbone like a steel and put those things out there? So that at least the impeachment proceedings can start. Even if he's not impeached, at least the American public will be in the know. Right. They can reach for themselves, they can know something, and then see it as it is.
Right. All right, so let's
because he has the paperwork to back it up.
Right. Okay, so let's look at the elections, the primaries, the Republican primaries. Donald Trump has refused to debate because when you look at the statistics, he's at the top, 50 something.
Yes.
Our Lady what's her name? I always miss her name. Mickey
Haley,
10%, right? And then
yeah,
the one from, is it Florida? Yes. DeSantos, yeah, 30 something. What do you see between DeSantos? What is your take? You think Mickey is going to pull it out, or DeSantos is going to really slow her down?
No, DeSantis, where he is now. DeSantis, that's the name, DeSantis.
Yes.
It is Trump who named it DeSantimonious or something like that. He always comes up, yes.
Trump has renamed him, right?
But, yes, he's DeSantimonious.
Right. He's my papa.
Yes. So anyway, where we are with the Republican primary, which the first is Iowa, which is coming on January the 15th, which is just a month away, almost a month away.
Right.
Initially, the deep state or the Republicans were thinking Trump wasn't going to go anywhere when they raided his Mar-a-Lago place.
Yeah.
It is all part of their game, so DeSantis was their hope.
Okay.
Knowing that, so they were propping DeSantis so that he will be behind Trump's back. Unfortunately, a lot was exposed from about DeSantis.
Right.
So now all the people who the never backers, all the against Trump people who were against, and they were all put their eggs into DeSantis' basket, realized they made a mistake. So now they are all turning their way around now and going to Nikki Haley's campaign.
Right.
So even last week, the Koch brothers, they are one of the people who fund a lot of the Republican parties.
Right.
So one of the Koch brothers, the one who survived it, the surviving Koch brothers, said he was going to give $70 million into Nikki Haley's campaign.
But
yes,
that will boost her campaign.
A lot. Yes. But unfortunately, sometimes money is not everything. Okay. It's personality. Yeah. And now also most Republican primary people also have realized that this is how they have been playing the game for so long.
Okay.
And Trump has exposed this thing when he came into the political scene.
Right.
So their hope then was when this Mar-a-Lago read about the classified document, that was their hope then that Trump will be he will be in prison, right, or he'll be fined, whatever it is. He's going to wear the orange man badge. Now orange man is in orange jumpsuit.
Right.
So that is their hope. Yeah. That is why all this New York had to change their law in about the sexual abuse thing. Right. That you remember that lady who said Trump raped in
yes,
a store in the Bloom, in a store and the Attorney General who is coming up with the civil suit against Trump businesses. So all those things plus the Georgia thing, the one in Georgia about the vote of 2020, the stolen election,
right,
and also Jack Smith regarding the January 6th. So they were bringing all these charges left, right, thinking that would have sunk Trump.
But the guy is still
so
standing.
He wouldn't have been he's still standing and beating them badly. So now I don't know what their next plan is or what they are cooking up next.
Yes.
But this was their whole ploy, thinking this is what will come. But thank God, people are reading on their own now.
Right.
They are more awake. They are more knowledgeable than before. Right. So we'll see what happens. So now Nikki Haley is their favorite, the flavor of the day now. Yes, Nikki Favor. She's the flavor of the. But we'll wait and see what happens in Iowa, January 15th. And if January 15th, because already they are beginning to give up in the sense that they realize, because a month ago or 3 weeks ago, when I read, what is her name, the RNC chairwoman, McDonald's.
Right.
Yes. when she said she went to one of these TV shows and the asked her that what happens if Trump wins the nomination, and she said, "Oh, even if Trump wins the nomination, whether he's convicted or not, the RNC will still support him." And I said to myself, "Yes, now they are reading the tea leaves."
Yes.
Because they realize the MAGA base or the support Trump has is not shaking.
Right. This morning I started reading from all the networks. I said Trump is a dictator. The man said he's a dictator.
Yes.
but you know, he just said he was going to dictate for just one day, shut the border, and start drilling. And unfortunately, the media has twisted the whole thing.
Yes.
And it's like people are even buying into it.
Are you surprised?
I am not surprised. I remember during the
COVID. They started this narrative 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They started this narrative 2 weeks ago saying that Trump is going to be a dictator. Trump is going to put his political people in prison and all the things that come. What they are projecting, and they have been projecting this for the past 2 weeks because they realize that Trump is leading in the polls and is not shaking. Despite all that they have been saying for the past year, thinking by now,
he's still standing.
And he's still standing. So it happened. So 2 weeks ago, so New York Times wrote an article. All the media, the morning shows, the afternoon shows, whatever, the newspapers were writing articles about Trump's being a Nazi, Trump's going to be a dictator if he wins the second term. So they are very afraid. So when Trump had that interview yesterday with Sean, and they asked, he said, "Yes, I'll be a dictator from one because I'm going to close the border." And drill and drill and drill. So Trump was not saying I'm going to be a dictator or revenge, but what he was trying to say, yes, I'll dictate that I'm going to close the border. And they twisted it.
I think he made that statement just to tease the media, I guess.
Oh, he knows how to get them. He knows how to get them. You know why also? He is getting free publication, free advertising.
Right.
Because I've told a few people, you guys say you don't like Trump, he's not your. So why do you always keep mentioning his name? If I dislike someone, I'm not going to pay attention to that person because that person means nothing to me.
Right.
So how come you guys say, okay, you dislike him? And unfortunately, you are the very people who have been with Trump and made him who he is when he was in his private life.
Right.
You partied with him. You always wanted to be around him because you knew he was a good person. He was A, B, C, and D. Right. And then how come suddenly he's a racist? Right. When Trump has dated a black woman before, when he had a black girlfriend.
Wow.
Yes, who was a model. She was a black model.
Wow. This is news to me.
Yes. And Trump was the one who gave the black people, Jesse Jackson of Sharpton, them an office on Wall Street. That the black should. He is the one who built. He gave what is it called? One of his golf links somewhere in the Bronx. That black children should go and learn how to play golf, so it doesn't become the only. Golf shouldn't just be for white people.
Nobody talks about this.
Yes, they know it. When Trump built his Mar-a-Lago place as a nightclub, the community then at that time, they fought him tooth and nail. Why? Because it was only Jewish people, it was only whites who were there. But when he opened, he hired blacks, he hired other minorities to work on his, and they took him to court because he hired white black people to come and work at his Mar-a-Lago. He was taken to court.
Wow.
And he won. He said, "I'm giving people a job and an opportunity."
Wow.
So how come suddenly? So if he was racist, why did the black people like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and all those people? Why did they honor him with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali?
Wow.
Why did they honor him? Wow. If he was that racist, before now that we know the word racist, he was helping. He was doing a lot for the black community.
I remembered the last debate between Hillary Clinton and Trump, and Hillary was asked, can she say one nice thing about Trump? And he just loved the way Trump has really taken care of his children
His
and how
family.
they are hardworking.
Yes.
And today they are dragging all these guys to congressional hearings and then courts and etc. And then you see our politicians
Yes.
speak from this part of their
Mhm.
mouth, and then anyway, we are left with how many minutes? But let's touch the last question. I overheard the president,
Okay.
President Joe Biden, says that he's going to run because Trump is running, and I think that is the worst reason one can give to run for presidency. I was expecting him saying that, "Oh, I want to run because I would like to finish the job," but to say that I want to run because Trump is running, I think that's absurd. What can you say about that?
Yeah. Oh, it's two things.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't want their skeletons to be brought up in the open. Okay. Unfortunately, when Trump becomes the president, that is what they fear and that is what they are projecting.
Right.
Because they've known all the things that they have done that will be exposed. So all of them are sitting on eggshell.
Right.
That is why they are fighting Trump vehemently, left, right, center, right. That whatever it takes so he doesn't come near the White House. Right. But if Joe Biden has said, okay, I want to run my second term and do something for the country, right. You see what I mean? That I want America, people who have better jobs, even if it's the worst job. Just say I want people to have better jobs, or medical, Medicaid, Obamacare. Just say something, right, that is inspiring. But you are saying you are running because Trump is running. So what are you trying to say? It means there is something that you don't want them to see. Right. And the moment Trump wins, I'm sure and I believe that there's going to be a lot that's going to be exposed. Right. Right. How the country has been run for how many decades now? Right. Of the people who comes into politics, it's not about them. It's not about what they'll do to better the lives of. They are supposed to come and serve. Right. And I always say it, and I'll say it again. Trump is the only president who has ever come to run the country. Despite all that he's been going through, he never got a salary. Every year, his presidential salary of $400,000, he gave it to charity. Every year for the 4 years that he was sitting as a president, he gave his check to charity. As a token, he only took $1 as a token. So all the things that he's been going through, he only works for $1. Wow. Yes, it's a fact. It's there. Yes.
These are certain
but
things
all
that
of them,
people don't know.
Yes. But all of them who come and become president, they become president, take their salary, enjoy all the perks. Enjoy all the perks.
They take their
with
salary
their family
and even take loans to do their war. Oh my God.
And also
Yes.
let me add this to it. And this is coming from New York Times and the Wall Street Financial Times. This data or this figure is coming from them. It's not my source. It's their source. They said when Trump became president, because he didn't work in his own private business, he lost $2 billion. He lost $2 billion worth. That is how much he gave. That is how much sacrifice he made for the country. He lost $2 billion with a B, not a million, B. Because if he had been working in his private life, he would have made, in other words, if he was working in his private life, he would have made $2 billion or more. That is New York Times and Wall Street Journal. I got that figures from them. Right. Yes. So how many people come into government and lose money? They only come and make money from whoever, all the congressmen and women. all those who work in the bureaucracies, they make money out of the government system when they're supposed to come and serve.
Right. Oh my God. Bigly.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
Bigly.
I know if I have to let you go, we're going to be here the whole hour. But, ladies and gentlemen, that was our sister. Sister Bigly, our political analyst. She's always in the newspapers. She's always doing a whole research about American politics, and it is some of us our duty to bring whatever is in the dark into the light. We will urge people to take time and to read and do more research about American politics. This is our new home, and also I also like to advise our brothers and sisters outside this country that they should stay tuned and subscribe to Mozartus Media, a political affairs evening show, and then watch out for great things concerning American politics. Sister Bigly, I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I really admire you. And I know we're going to be having part 3 episode, and this time it's going to be on the Democratic Party. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
So, it will be.
So good night. And then
good night. It's my honor.
Yes.
And pleasure once again joining you for this podcast.
Thank you.
And like I always say, I want to plug in briefly.
Thank you.
Those of you who can have the time, go to this website I read from. Right. It gives good analysis and data. Conservative Treehouse. Conservative Treehouse is an eye opener. Okay. Conservative Treehouse. Go, it's a blog. Go read. You'll be more educated. There's so much you can go and go back. Go into their search engine. Right. Whatever you want to read about, there's so much to read as an eye opener. Right. Yeah.
I'm going to put a Conservative Treehouse down on the plaque. So those who are watching us live or those who go back to revisit this recorded episode, it's Conservative Treehouse. My name is Martin Pettigo.
Yes.
And we are streaming live from Pennsylvania. And our guest on the show tonight is Sister Bigly from New Jersey, our political analyst. And we can always count on her for information. Sister, God bless you. And then
God bless you too.
I'll call you after the program.
Okay, anytime.
Right. Okay.
God bless you and keep up the good job.
Thank you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight. Stay blessed. God bless you. Mozartus Media is at the forefront of storytelling with the focus of pushing boundaries and delivering unparalleled entertainment. MWN Media is reshaping the way we experience media. Stay tuned for political affairs, entertainment, and other news. Stay tuned.
Yes, I. Greetings, family.